Good morning everybody, it is July 20th, 2022. Join me today on Cannaa's Crash Course as I take you through a fairly short but packed patch notes rundown. First off, the preseason for World Arena is coming to a close. Starting on July 23rd, or a few days from now when I record this, everyone will be back to spamming RTA when it matters. This time around for the season, however, we have a fancy new red and silver pointy frame accompanied by the announced RTA skin hero for the season, Apocalypse Ravi. Additionally, a small but meaningful change to gold ranked RTA has been added with the decay or point reduction period being extended from 3 to 7 days. This is nice for people who don't have enough time to play RTA as much or aren't super keen on playing as much. But to be honest, this change is mostly directed, it feels like, towards the end of season where you would be able to just climb to gold and then not play for another 7 days. Now, if you already somehow haven't seen her, Sylvan Sage Vivian is going to be released later today after maintenance. From what I've seen, discussed, and looked up about her, Vivian appears to be a character geared to be either played as a faster damage dealer or as somewhat of a slower, bruisery lifesteal unit who abuses her passive damage reduction and healing on skill 3 to ramp up and do more damage. The thing about both builds, however, is that it does feel like more testing is going to need to be done, especially after she goes live, because she is definitely a character who can be strong on paper, but might suffer from the kind of stealthy, protect the carry meta that is currently present in RTA. On the topic of new characters, however, the newest character, SHARUN, however you say her name, is the first new Soul Weaver we've had in... Anyways, she seems like a pretty interesting character with a constant cycling of a barrier and offensive buffs to the highest attack unit on the team, which seems useful, and the introduction of the Venom buff seems very promising as well. From what we've seen, Venom seems to be somewhat of a dual purpose debuff where it helps chip away at high HP targets like bruisers, and also acts as a way to skill reset whenever SHARUN is able to skill 1. Overall, I'd say she's a very welcome change to the Soul Weaver pool, with most Soul Weavers typically slotting into the buffer, cleanser, healer position that has historically been shown in the role. Her artifact, on a side note, seems kind of interesting as it does give a hefty amount of effectiveness and pushes up the highest attack character on a team when using a basic skill, but unfortunately it seems more like a PvE focused artifact at best. Considering how difficult and how infrequent Soul Weavers really want to be using their basic skills, pass for now. As usual, there's a side story, however, accompanying SHARUN that has something to do with Zahhak, which is a thumbs up for lore enjoyers, I'm sure, since a lot of people like Zahhak. But on a semi-other related note, the Super Soaker's artifact... The Super Soaker Artifact's side story... God, that's a tongue twister. The Holy Order of the Blue Cross and the Mysterious Island is now playable and purchasable from the store. Normally I don't talk about or emphasize the importance of PvE focused content, since most of the time the rewards are okay at best, but this time the Super Soaker artifact is actually really helpful in lowering stat lines when it comes to building teams for hunts or just doing PvE content in general. Though the 10% that you get from effectiveness and the 5% attack across the team is really low, it seems, or it appears to be very low, it actually really helps, especially when you're earlier on in the game or really trying to min-max and get the most out of your team's damage while having enough effectiveness to debuff a wyvern, a boss, etc. Now, cycling back a bit, the heroes accompanying SHARUN on the upcoming banner is Araminta and the artifact EpicSeven. To be honest, Araminta is kind of weak because she struggles to match other debuffers who are multifunctional like Summertime Isseria or Ida, and she really doesn't match the tankiness or bruiser nature of Carrot, even with her skill 3 shield. Now, on the other hand, EpicSeven is kind of a niche artifact that has some usage on slower, more tankier mages like Carrot and sometimes Angel of Light, and also has some use cases in PvE with Tenebria and Grass Expedition, or just in general in the more like PvE focused, bruisery, long game kind of content. In general, however, the artifact is definitely not a must pull, and I definitely not recommend using the 240 pity or going out of your way to pull for either the hero or the artifact in this case. Now, while we really didn't see much of her, Summer Break Charlotte was also announced with a preview trailer of her kit and design on the 27th and her actual release on the 28th. Now, barring a number of minor improvements, bug fixes, etc., which you can see here, that was pretty much all that was announced and talked about on today's patch notes rundown. I think despite being a fairly small patch, it is exciting to know that we finally have some sort of new healer in the form of SHARUN, a summer character in form of Charlotte that we will see soon, and some nice changes to help out newer mid-game players with the reruns of Super Soaker and changes to Gold RTA. As usual, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for this channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!